You're listening to the N2K Space Network.
AI is transforming every industry, but it's also creating new risks that traditional frameworks can't keep up with. Assessments today are fragmented, overlapping, and often specific to industries, geographies, or regulations. That's why Black Kite created the BKGA3 AI Assessment Framework to give cybersecurity and risk teams a unified, evolving standard for measuring AI risk across their own organizations and their vendors' AI use. It's global, research-driven, built to evolve with the threat landscape, and free to use. Because Black Kite is committed to strengthening the entire cybersecurity community. Learn more at blackkite.com.
Today is December 10th, 2025. I'm Maria Varmazes, and this is T-Minus.
T-Minus 20 seconds to LOS T-Drift. Go for deploy. Roger, roll.
The Federal Communications Commission has issued a notice of proposed rulemaking aimed at overhauling and modernizing the space and Earth station licensing framework. 4. Chinese taikonauts on board the Tiangong space station have installed space debris protection. 3. China set a new record, launching 3 rockets in less than 19 hours.
2.
SpaceX launched the NROL-77 mission on a Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida yesterday.
1.
MDA Space has signed a partnership agreement with the Government of Canada and Telesat Corporation to develop and deliver military satellite communications capabilities.
0.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. We're going to be exploring black holes later in the program. The European Space Agency said that the black hole inside a distant spiral galaxy is creating wind that measures at 60,000 kilometers per second. Stick around for more on that after today's Intel briefing. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. We are kicking off today with more developments from our neighbors in the north in Canada. MDA Space has signed a partnership agreement with the Government of Canada and Telesat Corporation to develop and deliver military satellite communication capabilities. And no, this is not a repeat of Friday's story about RadarSat. This is actually a totally separate contract. This new contract is part of the Enhanced Satellite Communication Project, Polar, which goes by ESCPP, and is now one of the key procurements being led by Canada's newly formed Defence Investment Agency. ESCPP aims to significantly enhance the ability of the Royal Canadian Air Force and the broader Canadian Armed Forces to conduct sovereignty operations in the Arctic, supporting the defense of Canada and of North America. The project will deliver secure wideband and narrowband satellite communications capabilities that are essential to fulfilling the Canadian Armed Forces continental defense mandate. It is also leveraging the Canadian industry to create high-quality jobs across the country while unlocking a multi-billion-dollar investment in Canada's defense sector. The Government of Canada selected MDA Space and Telesat as strategic partners because of their combined expertise in the secure satellite communications space and in space-based infrastructure. Canadian government documents indicate that the ESCPP project could have a price tag of over $5 billion Canadian, or the equivalent of $3.6 billion US dollars. And if you are interested in learning about what other projects are going on in Canada right now, it is a very busy country, then definitely join me for this Saturday's Deep Space, where I will be talking to the CEO and founder of the Canadian Space Mining Corporation, known as CSMC, about their ongoing nuclear and quantum projects. Let's move on now. SpaceX launched the NROL-77 mission on a Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida yesterday. NROL-77 was the third mission that Falcon 9 launched in 2025 on behalf of the Space Systems Command and National Reconnaissance Office, better known as the NRO. The mission carried a national security payload designed, built, and operated by NRO. And as you might imagine, there are really no further details that we can share about what the mission entails, but it does have a cool patch, which features a flying squirrel, along with the words, "Another one gone, today, tomorrow, and beyond." And why a flying squirrel? Well, NRO says it's a symbol of hard work and endurance, always active, gathering foundational knowledge from the space domain for the nation and its allies. Not exactly necessarily how we picture flying squirrels, but maybe it's up there to gather some interesting nuts. Anyway, and we do think that while we are seeing an incredible launch cadence here in the United States, but we are not the only country to see record-breaking launch numbers lately. China launched 3 rockets in less than 19 hours recently. They are not far behind the overall launch numbers that we are seeing over here stateside, clocking in 83 launches so far in 2025. The launches from China all started on Monday with a Long March 6A rocket from Taiyuan Satellite Launch Center in northern China. That mission successfully sent a batch of broadband satellites to low Earth orbit for the Guowang mega constellation. And then, a few hours later, the mysterious Yaogan 47 spacecraft took flight atop a Long March 4B from Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in the Gobi Desert. Yaogan 47 is a classified satellite that will be used by the Chinese military. The triple header then wrapped up on Tuesday morning with the launch of another classified satellite known as TJSW-22 on a Long March 3B from Xichang Satellite Launch Center in western China. China's commercial spaceflight company CAS Space also successfully launched 9 satellites on Wednesday from the Dongfang Commercial Space Innovation Pilot Zone near the Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in northwest China. The rocket, Lijian-1, also known as Kinetica-1 Y11, lifted off at 12:03 p.m. Beijing time, carrying 9 satellites, including one from the United Arab Emirates. And speaking of space news from China, the Chinese manned space program has said that the taikonauts on board the Tiangong space station have installed space debris protection. The orbiting station is no stranger to the dangers of space debris, as you might remember. It is believed that one of the Shenzhou capsules was damaged by space junk in recent months. The Chinese astronauts completed an EVA to install space debris protection devices on the space station and replace the insulation cover on a thermal control adapter. The spacewalk was completed by Zhang Lu and Wu Fei, with Wu now holding the record as the youngest Chinese astronaut to perform an EVA. The crew also inspected and photographed the damaged window of the Shenzhou 20 spacecraft, which is still docked at Tiangong. It's waiting to be sent back uncrewed to a landing site in China, where it will be further examined. The U.S. Federal Communication Commission has issued a notice of proposed rulemaking known as NPRM that proposes to overhaul and modernize the Commission's space and Earth station licensing process. It aims to help ensure that new space-based industries, space exploration capabilities, and cutting-edge defense systems are pioneered in America rather than by our adversaries. In particular, the NPRM proposes to develop a licensing assembly line designed so applications can be routed along different paths and segmented for review based on specific aspects of a request. They say that this new process would set the stage for ongoing efficiency gains and would provide greater predictability and flexibility for applicants. The proposed changes include establishing a review process that facilitates what it calls permissionless innovation, overhauling application materials to streamline processing, and expanding the flexibility for applicants and licensees in designing and operating their systems. The FCC says that it expects, like actual assembly lines, that the space review processes can be dramatically accelerated while improving the quality of the Commission's space licensing work. The FCC will accept public comments on the proposed rule changes until January 20th. And that wraps up today's Intel briefing. Make sure to head to the selected reading section of our show notes to learn more about all of the stories that have been mentioned in today's episode. Hi there! Whether you've been listening to T-Minus from the very start, or if this is your very first episode tuning in, I want to thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing here at T-, your support will help us grow and bring you more of the insights and guest interviews that you enjoy. So if you could take a moment and leave a 5-star rating and short review in whatever podcast app you use, I would appreciate it so much. In your review, tell us about a recent interview that you really loved, like maybe the one that we ran recently about building out modular orbital data centers. It was super cool, right? That kind of feedback really does help. And I wouldn't be much of a podcast host if I didn't drop an obligatory like and subscribe now and then, after all. So please do, and thank you. We'll be right back.
Most environments trust far more than they should, and attackers know it. ThreatLocker solves that by enforcing default deny at the point of execution. With ThreatLocker Allow listing, you stop unknown executables cold. With ring fencing, you control how trusted applications behave. And with ThreatLocker DAC, Defense Against Configurations, you get real assurance that your environment is free of misconfigurations and clear visibility into whether you meet compliance standards. ThreatLocker is the simplest way to enforce zero-trust principles without the operational pain. It's powerful protection that gives CISOs real visibility, real control, and real peace of mind. ThreatLocker makes zero-trust attainable, even for small security teams. See why thousands of organizations choose ThreatLocker to minimize alert fatigue, stop ransomware at the source, and regain control over their environments. Schedule your demo at threatlocker.com/N2K today.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. At the heart of a distant spiral galaxy called NGC 3783, astronomers observed something kind of wild, a supermassive black hole that's roughly the mass of a mere 30 million suns. The image of this spiral galaxy, captured by NASA and ESA through the Hubble telescope, observed a bright X-ray flare believed to be unleashed by a blast of cosmic winds traveling at up to 60,000 kilometers per second. That is roughly 130 million miles per hour for us Yankees, which is about 20% the speed of light. And what makes this discovery remarkable isn't just the speed, although, yeah, it's pretty remarkable. The winds formed in just a single day after the X-ray flare. Scientists believe what triggered it was a sudden untwisting of the black hole's tangled magnetic field, a phenomenon that is similar to solar flares on our sun, but on a scale so vast that it is almost too big to imagine. And something like this is definitely more than just a cosmic fireworks show. Such ultra-fast winds from the region around an active galactic nucleus can have wide-ranging effects because they influence how matter moves in a galaxy, how galaxies evolve over time, and how black hole activity shapes the cosmos. Observing this phenomenon in real time does give astronomers fresh insight into how these massive engines of destruction actually work. And let's be honest, myself included, everyone's a little obsessed with black holes. I mean, what are they? How do they form? Am I ever going to get swallowed up by one? Well, maybe. But every little nugget of knowledge that we can get from these observations helps us learn more about them, and we can definitively say that there aren't any near us at the moment, at least not on a scale that matters. So the latter question still has a firm no as its answer, although that didn't stop me from worrying about it when I was a little kid. I'm sure I'm not the only one. And that's T-, brought to you by N2K Cyberwire. We'd love to know what you think of our podcast. Your feedback ensures we deliver the insights that keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing space industry. If you like our show, please share a rating and review in your podcast app. Please also fill out the survey in the show notes or send an email to space@n2k.com. We are proud that N2K Cyberwire is part of the daily routine of the most influential leaders and operators in the public and private sector, from the Fortune 500 to many of the world's preeminent intelligence and law enforcement agencies. N2K helps space and cybersecurity professionals grow, learn, and stay informed. As the nexus for discovery and connection, we bring you the people, the technology, and the ideas shaping the future of secure innovation. Learn how at n2k.com. N2K's senior producer is Alice Carruth. Our producer is Liz Stokes. We are mixed by Elliot Peltzman and Trey Hester, with original music by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Peter Kilpie is our publisher. And I am your host, Maria Varmazis. Thank you for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.